Yo, what's good, YouTube? Welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to another reaction video. Got the Dallas Cowboys plan makes no sense. Let's check this out.
Yeah, no, I'm not trying to be the highest paid. Obviously, want to put this team in the best situation. Focused on the moment, on the now. Leaving that up to my agent and
If they don't
Jerry
move on from Dak, then they're stuck, bro. The best thing for them right now is to let Dak go in off season.
I have a reputation of being the Dallas Cowboys fan that's a Cowboys hater, and it's not necessarily that I hate the Dallas Cowboys. It's more the fact that I can't stand the decisions that my favorite team happens to make. And I'm going to explain to you guys in this video.
Bro, bro's hairline is fucked though. Look at this shit. What the hell you got, bro? It's about time for Dak to let this shit go. I'm sorry, bro. I'm sorry. It's about time for him to let that shit go, gang.
Video how this entire situation could have been avoided, but now that we're in this situation, it looks like the Cowboys trio of Dak Prescott, CeeDee Lamb, and Micah Parsons at some point or another will have to be broken up, or we'll have to stay together, and the Cowboys are going to continue to be in salary cap hell. There are multiple scenarios that could play out now that the Cowboys are in this situation, and that's the purpose of this video, to take you through each and every one of those scenarios. By the end of the video, I want you guys to let me know in the comment section down below which scenario you think is most likely. Before we get to the content, we're running a huge giveaway for College Football 25. I'm going to be giving away copies to my followers on Instagram and to my followers on Twitter. Both links are in the description down below. And now that we get all that out of the way,
break. W intro.
Prize Picks is big and popularly going to get this one. He's been easily. I'm going to on my Instagram sponsor, Mike Check 1212. What's going on, everybody? This entire situation could have been avoided. And to give you an idea,
100%. They should have, bro. I feel like they should have definitely already paid CeeDee Lamb last year, bro. I ain't gonna lie. Like as soon as the season ended, they should have been in contract talks with him and shit like that. Like, they've waited way too fucking long, and now it's gonna get like every time they wait longer, like the price for CeeDee Lamb is gonna go up higher and higher and higher, because CeeDee Lamb is gonna want a bag, and he's gonna get a bag, even if it's gonna come from Dallas or somebody else. He's gonna get a bag either way, because Justin Jefferson just got paid 140 mil, you know what I'm saying, a few days ago, and then Chase has got to get paid. So it's gonna get worse if they don't go ahead and pay him right now.
Expiring about 5 years ago. You see, heading into the 2019 offseason, to set the stage, Aaron Rodgers was the highest paid player in the NFL at $33.5 million per year. He got a 4-year, $134 million extension from the Green Bay Packers during the 2018 preseason, and at the time you had multiple quarterbacks getting about $30 million a year, and that was the very top of the quarterback salary iceberg. For example, Matt Ryan received a 5-year, $150 million contract extension from the Atlanta Falcons. Kirk Cousins got an unprecedented 3-year, $84 million deal when he signed with the Vikings as a free agent. And now you had Dak Prescott, who was going into an offseason where the Cowboys were looking to re-sign him in addition to DeMarcus Lawrence. DeMarcus Lawrence was seeking a contract that would pay him about $20 million a year annually. And if the Cowboys were proactive, they could have made Dak Prescott the NFL's second highest paid player in order to get a deal done at the same time as DeMarcus Lawrence, meaning Dak could have been signed to a 4-year, $124 million contract extension that would have paid him $31 million per year. But in typical Cowboys fashion, they decided to wait as long as possible. I mean, to give you an idea, if the Cowboys signed Dak,
when their team's gonna get enough of that, bro,
it would have been way before Russell Wilson got paid $35 million per year from the Seahawks. It would have been before Ben Roethlisberger got a 2-year, $68 million contract extension from the Steelers. And not only would have Dak Prescott gotten paid less, but on top of that, his contract would have expired sooner in 2023, meaning the Cowboys would have been in the market to extend Dak Prescott's contract during the same offseason that the Eagles signed Jalen Hurts, that paid him $255 million over 5 years. That saw Lamar Jackson sign for around a similar number as well, as opposed to the situation the Cowboys put themselves in now. Now, if you don't know what actually happened, the Dallas Cowboys decided to franchise tag Dak Prescott in 2019. Dak Prescott would suffer a leg injury the very next year, and then they ended up signing
watching that shit live was gruesome, bro.
$160 million contract extension. This is one of the worst contracts I've ever seen in NFL history, because this contract is also backloaded, meaning that the Cowboys are essentially. And
doesn't he have a no trade clause in his contract as well?
You either get to keep Dak Prescott and extend him and spread his cap hit over the remaining years of the contract, or you could let Dak Prescott hit free agency agency, but because his contract was backloaded, you're going to incur a $40 million dead cap
Holy
hit once you
shit.
hit free agency. Something that
Damn.
I must admit, I don't think I've ever
They're
seen
fucked.
before. Usually you get this type of penalty if you cut a quarterback, but in this case, if Dak just hits free agency, the Cowboys still get a dead cap hit. And this thing that the Cowboys do where they wait till the absolutely last minute to sign their players has never helped them. It's the exact opposite of what you should do. You take a look at the Philadelphia Eagles, and the moment they anticipated the wide receiver market was inflating, they signed Devontae Smith to a contract extension
smart,
paying
bro.
him $25 million.
Howie Roseman knows what
and
he's
then they
doing.
extended AJ Brown, making him
He's
the
such a
highest paid
great
wide receiver for a few weeks before
general
Justin
manager,
Jefferson
bro.
completely shattered that number. And to give you an idea, I mean, just take a look at the highest paid wide receivers as of right now. You have Justin Jefferson, who's getting paid $35 million a year annually. Then you have AJ Brown getting paid $32 million a year annually. Then you have Amon-Ra St. Brown at $30.002 million. And this is where things get very complicated because the Cowboys' objective was to extend CeeDee Lamb.
That shit look weird as fuck.
The Cowboys' objective
Damn,
was
bro.
to extend CeeDee Lamb
Was that
before
Matt
Justin
Stafford who took that
Jefferson.
hit?
If you had done so, you could have probably paid CeeDee Lamb the same exact money that AJ Brown was getting paid, $32 million. And given how challenging the Cowboys situation was, they could use every single penny currently. So as of now, you know what's going down. Now that Justin Jefferson got his contract extension, CeeDee Lamb is holding out for his contract extension. It makes a lot of sense. They're in the same draft class
Lamb up
together.
next,
and
bro.
since the Cowboys decided to take their sweet time with CeeDee Lamb, which for the life of me, I'll never understand why they do this. I don't see a single benefit to doing this, but now it's very likely
because if IU gets paid next, it's gonna make it even tougher spot for Dallas because obviously Ayuk is gonna want to get paid more than Jefferson. Is he gonna get paid more than Jefferson? Probably not. But you know, if the Niners are willing to pay him more than Jefferson, then you know they're gonna just do that.
Same amount of money.
You know what I'm saying, if he does get paid more than Jefferson, then CeeDee Lamb's gonna be wanting to get paid more than Ayuk.
Legitimate case, by the way. He wasn't always.
So this is a very tough spot for Dallas right now. So they need to get something done.
Numbers, he's steadily improved each and every year till this past year, where he had a prolific 12 touchdowns and over 1,700 receiving yards. And the crazy part is Dak Prescott has a very similar argument that he can make. Sure, you've seen interviews where Dak Prescott said this.
Yeah, no, I'm not trying to be the highest paid. Necessarily. So we'll wait until negotiations begin, and obviously want to put this team in the best situation. So.
And sure,
how about you get paid $1?
Remember
No,
Dak Prescott for choking against the Green Bay Packers. But when you're coming off of a regular season where you threw for over 4,500 passing yards, 36 touchdowns, and 9 interceptions, when you completed almost 70% of your passes, there's no way you are going to accept less than resetting the quarterback market. And that is the reality of the situation. Now, the Cowboys have 3 important key members of their roster to pay. The first being CeeDee Lamb, who probably won't play another snap for the Cowboys until he gets that contract extension. The next being Dak Prescott, who is a huge question mark, which we're going to get to in a second because he might be the most likely to leave the Cowboys. And then the final one obviously being Micah Parsons. Now, we're not going to be in a situation where Micah Parsons needs a new contract until next offseason, but this contract isn't that difficult to project. Whenever you talk about edge rushers in
I feel like what might be the best for them to do, let Dak go, pay CeeDee Lamb, and then possibly franchise tag Parsons for another year and then figure out, you know what I'm saying, his deal and shit like that. I feel like
Parsons
that might be the best
some of the best edge rushers in the league. I mean,
fucking
you have Myles
thing for them to
Garrett,
do.
You have Nick Bosa, and you have Micah Parsons. In any order, you can make legitimate arguments for each of those players being the best edge rusher in the NFL.
Best edge rusher in the NFL is TJ Watt.
Nick Bosa might be the most dominant, but there's no question about it.
Bro, how you just gonna forget about TJ Watt, bro?
And the crazy part is Micah Parsons
coming from a Ravens
is
fan.
also
Come on now.
skipping OTAs, although his reasoning is so he could train by himself. Whether you want to put stock into that or not is
bro, a lot of people skipped OTAs this year.
Why Micah Parsons decided to skip OTAs, because he's also seeking a new contract. Yeah, you know, I think the more years you have, the more you understand that there's also like the business side to it. You know, I think that's what camp is for. I mean, there was a time where Aaron Donald didn't even go to camp and he won Defensive Player of the Year and then went to the playoffs. Like, are we forgetting these times? Like, we wasn't talking about the best defensive player wasn't even in camp, and we're in mini camps, voluntary at that. So, camp was something that is mandatory. So I'm looking at it as just time for my body to heal. I'm playing as an undersized rusher who is banged up every year. So I'm just letting my body heal. I'm just trying to grow, strengthen, and really just get ready for the year. So it's kind of confusing because on one hand, he says, there's a business side to everything. But on the other hand, he's like, well, my body's banged up, so it needs to heal. So the reality is Micah Parsons is also sending a message to the Cowboys saying, yo, you guys better fucking pay me. Now, it's not hard to anticipate Micah Parsons' contract. Chances are he's going to try to reset the edge rusher market. Nick Bosa was paid $34 million, so expect Micah Parsons to get $34 or $35 million. Expect CeeDee Lamb to receive $34 or $35 million. In the case of Micah, the Cowboys didn't really have a choice. In the case of CeeDee, the Cowboys definitely could have played this a little bit better and immediately inked him to a contract the moment that they could. And in the case of Dak Prescott, well, the Cowboys completely ruined any hope of competing with this core for the future as a result of how horribly they managed their negotiation with him. So now there are multiple scenarios for the Dallas Cowboys to play out here, and a lot of it depends on how the regular season goes. And I have to admit, a lot of this is speculative, but it's June and we're making content based upon how specific scenarios play out. So if you guys remember earlier in the offseason, there's a lot of speculation that Jerry Jones is going to go after Bill Belichick, but he ended up keeping speculation that Jerry Jones is going to go after Bill Belichick, but he ended up keeping Mike McCarthy. Why? Because Jerry Jones is notorious for being cheap. Mike McCarthy had one more year on his contract.
That is true, bro.
One more year on his contract. Plus, there's a very
why wouldn't you want Bill Belichick, man? He's way better than Mike McCarthy. Let's keep it a buck.
Playoffs with this core, so I could understand bringing him back for another season.
No fucking comparison between those two.
Mike McCarthy's track record with the Cowboys, it's been pretty solid, and I hate to admit that, but that's true. But after this season, Mike McCarthy's contract expires, and whether or not the Cowboys renew it has to do with how the season goes. I personally am projecting the Cowboys to not even make it to the playoffs this year. I know it's really harsh, but the reality is they lost Dan Quinn. Their team got objectively weaker in the offseason. They lost Tyron Smith. They lost Tyler Biadasz. They lost Dorrance Armstrong. Leighton Vander Esch also retired. They lost Dante Fowler. There's a question of whether Stephon Gilmore returns, and it looks like they added
to the
Eric
Ravens.
Kendricks,
We don't need him. The fuck?
Over Leighton Vander Esch. If the Cowboys don't make it to the playoffs, expect Mike McCarthy to be fired. Expect Jerry Jones to start chasing.
Bro, this fucking AI shit is getting out of hand.
Well, the pot of gold in this instance could be Bill Belichick, but the pot of gold in this instance could also be a brand new quarterback. Who would the brand new quarterback be? Well, option A would be seeing what you have with Trey Lance. If things really go south,
that's what I think is gonna happen too. It's kind of similar to the Jordan Love situation where, Aaron Rodgers, he got shipped off to the Jets, and then they re-signed Jordan Love. I think they extended him like a year or two, and then I feel like that's gonna happen with Dak and the Dallas Cowboys as well. Dak's gonna leave, and then they're gonna re-sign Trey Lance to like a 1 year, 2 year deal, see what he can do, and if he pops off, then re-sign him to a much bigger deal.
After sitting behind Dak Prescott for a full season and a half, maybe 2 seasons this year, it is very reasonable to speculate maybe some development happened as Trey Lance has been riding the bench. How much development remains to be seen. I'm not necessarily sure if we could expect a Jordan Love-like leap from Trey Lance, but of course we have a former number 3
never know, bro.
In the 2021 NFL,
because he's got all the talent is there from him. It's just been horrible luck with him, being able to stay on the field, because he got injured his first season starting. He broke his ankle. I think it was week 2. I forgot what team they played, but he broke his ankle, and then he never got another shot after that. Like, I feel like him sitting behind Dak is gonna do wonders for him, bro.
Develop, especially considering that he was the biggest project in the draft. It definitely is worth seeing what you have in him. And option A could be going into the very next year with Trey Lance as your quarterback 1, and based upon his performance in the 2025 season, as you are paying,
he's most likely gonna play in the preseason this year too. So I guess they can see what he's gonna do. Potentially being their franchise guy
on whether or not he is going to be your QB of the future. If the Cowboys have a successful season, I'm expecting them to bring back Dak Prescott, sign him to a 4-year contract that pays him $6.
Hell no! If they do that, they're stupid. Why would I don't care if you have a good year. You know what I'm saying? You remember, you still got to pay CeeDee Lamb and Micah Parsons. And Zach Martin's contract is coming up too. I'm just thinking about it. Like, bro, you would be better off just letting that go, bro. Like, no, there's just no reason of keeping him.
$1 a year annually. Try to spread out his remaining cap hit over the final years of his contract.
He hasn't even made a championship game yet in his career.
But the third option is essentially Jerry Jones chasing the pot of gold. I could see the Cowboys moving on from Dak Prescott if the Cowboys don't make it to the playoffs. And if Colorado has another bad season, if Shedeur Sanders isn't entrenched as the #1 overall pick, given Jerry Jones's history with Deion Sanders, given how marketable of a name Shedeur Sanders is, I could see the Cowboys pursuing Shedeur Sanders. Deion Sanders has already made it known that there are a few teams he would
Ravens, yeah,
play for. Bring
us Travis Hunter now, nigga. Bro, if we get Travis Hunter, I'm doing backflips off the fucking house.
2024 on the All the Smoke podcast.
Okay, that's a little far-fetched. I'm not gonna do a fucking backflip.
Give me a dream wide receiver that you want to throw to, Shedeur.
CD Lamb.
Oh, Prime.
Oh, Lord.
Dream safety.
He trying to get something started. Y'all ain't catch that.
What is that?
CD Lamb.
CD Lamb.
Uh-oh. I talked to him.
Yeah.
Super Bowl.
Hey.
Stop, because you know where it's going to go.
Yeah. I hope it goes.
Yeah, this is where it's going to go.
You know, I'm the biggest Cowboy fan in the world.
Yeah.
So he's already flirting with the Cowboys a little bit. Now, as a Cowboy fan, do I think this is a huge improvement over Dak Prescott? To be honest, no.
I think it might be. Sure, you know what I'm saying? The potential of Shedeur Sanders is, you know what I'm saying? The ceiling with him is up there, bro. Like, no glaze and shit, bro. He's got all the talent in the world, and he played really good for them to have one of the worst O-lines in the nation last year.
Shedeur Sanders. I mean,
so I feel like he could be better than Dak Prescott, if I'm being honest.
He's played on a very marketable football team that knows how to generate hype. He knows how to generate publicity and attention to himself.
But he is controversial, so.
Although I think he had some good moments for Colorado.
That actually might be better for Dallas, honestly.
Respectfully, and this is someone that's been following him and has made multiple videos on him. Could he be successful in the NFL? Most definitely. Do I think he's a can't miss prospect like Caleb Williams? No, most definitely not. But I also don't see the Cowboys finishing with the #1 overall pick in this NFL draft. So at the same time, Shedeur Sanders' draft stock is going to have to tank considerably, which I could also see happening. And in this scenario, Shedeur Sanders
was knocked over the camera, man.
Cowboys in year 1. The Cowboys eat up the $40 million cap hit that Dak Prescott leaves from leaving them in free agency, and they reset the contract clock at the quarterback position. At the end of the day, I think Micah Parsons and CD Lamb are going to return no matter what. And as they should. Micah Parsons and CD Lamb are two remarkable players. I think
two
Dak
keystone players, bro, on the opposite side of the ball.
Right, and he has a very legitimate reason to ask for $60 million a year annually. At the same time,
the fuck he doesn't.
See either scenario where the Cowboys bring him back or the Cowboys move on from him. I think the craziest scenario that I could imagine happening, but there's a lot of speculation here occurring, is I could see the Cowboys not making it to the playoffs this year. As a result, the Cowboys decide to move on from Dak Prescott and Mike McCarthy. Shedeur Sanders decides not to declare for the 2024 NFL Draft. The Cowboys then go into the 2025 season with Trey Lance as their starting QB. Trey Lance doesn't necessarily prove that he should be the future of the Dallas Cowboys. The Cowboys finish with a top 3 or a top 5 pick. Now, again, do I think this is going to improve the Dallas Cowboys significantly? Not necessarily. There's so many unknown factors here, and there's so much speculation at play here that I can imagine us being in the cellar of the NFC East moving forward. And that's nothing against the Cowboys. It's just when you take a look at the Washington Commanders and you take a look at the Philadelphia Eagles, they actually know what they're doing. The Eagles are consistently making their money work for them. They're consistently beating out the pack in terms of extending their players. And that's why they've been so successful so far. And that's why I think they'll continue to be successful. Even the Washington Commanders, they had a tremendous amount of cap space. If they hit on Jaden Daniels, they already have a complete wide receiver core. Their defense is up and coming as well, at least on paper. So whenever your rivals are consistently getting better, but you're stagnating or getting worse, how could you expect to have a good season? I hope I'm wrong as a fan, but I'm just being realistic. At the end of the day, I know some of these scenarios are far-fetched, so I want to get your take in the comment section down below. Do you think the Cowboys will draft Shedeur Sanders? Do you think they'll sign Bill Belichick?
I don't know, bro. I don't think they'll sign Bill Belichick because, like he said, Jerry Jones is cheap as fuck. But if they somehow, like, let's say if they do have a top 5 pick and they draft Shedeur Sanders, bro, you know, I feel like that might do them somewhat good, But again, you need more talent to go around him as well, because who do you have other than CeeDee Lamb? Because Brandon Cooks is not going to be here long term. You know what I'm saying? He's got what, another year or two, you know what I'm saying, on his contract. You need somebody else other than CeeDee Lamb to throw the football to, bro. CeeDee Lamb can't do it all by himself. So I feel like they shouldn't draft the QB in the first round this year. You know what I'm saying? I feel like this is still a top, you know what I'm saying, the receivers are really good in this draft class as well that's coming up. You got, I believe, Luther Burton. You got Emeka Egbuka. I don't know if McMillan's going to be coming out of the draft this year, but you've got some pretty solid receivers coming out of the draft this year, and I feel like they should, you know what I'm saying, draft one of those guys and maybe, you know what I'm saying, see what Trey Lance can do. If he doesn't do good year one, then move on from him. Simple as that.
I like to hear what you have to say. Aside from that, I'm your boy Mike, and I'm dropping our mic until our next upload.
Hey man, what do you guys think though? I want to know what you guys think. Let me know down in the comments below. Hope you guys enjoyed though. If you did, you guys like, comment, subscribe to the channel if you're new. Turn on my post notification and get notified whenever I drop another banger video. We're on the road to 200 subs. Help me get there for more banger NFL content like this. So without further ado, I'm out. Gang!